In a must-win situation, Marvel is definitely gonna lose. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. Marvel has had some pretty big failures since Endgame. There was the Eternals, Doctor Strange, Quantumania, and of course the granddaddy of them all, the Marvels. But I think with Deadpool behind us and Daredevil ahead of us and news of RDJ's eventual return, some people have been tricked into thinking that Marvel's darkest days are behind them.
Fools! All of you!
Think again. Because before we so much as get a glimpse at Matt Murdock breaking femurs, we first gotta suffer through Captain America Brave New World. The closer this movie gets, the bleaker the outcome on it becomes. This is a $350 to $375 million picture featuring a new Captain America taking on the mantle. A character that everyone already liked when he was called the Falcon. Seriously, a Falcon movie 6 or 7 years ago would have made some serious cash. It's gone through extensive reshoots at least 4 times, with entire plot lines and characters being added and dropped in some kind of bizarre Frankenstein-like surgery. And ticket sales for this movie would be great if this was a decade ago and this movie cost about a third of what it actually costs. And now we're getting word that the company is taking deceptive marketing tactics to a whole new level. Just how bad is this train wreck gonna get? Well, find out today on Tooney Town TV. Okay, guys, we're talking Captain America Brave New World again today, and just there's so much that has happened around this movie in the last just 2 weeks. We're going to try to put it all in one video and just kind of take a look at the epic disaster that this is shaping out to be. So just take a look at this headline right here from That Park Place, written by myself. Captain America Brave New World runtime shows that it's the shortest yet most expensive Captain America movie to date. Troubled film costs nearly $3 million per minute. That's insane. That's utterly insane for a movie that no one wants to see, that doesn't even really have any big names outside of Harrison Ford in it, because I'm sorry, Anthony Mackie is not a big name actor. Captain America, I guess, is a big name, but we're going to compare it to things like Civil War, which had Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, and yes, Anthony Mackie, Don Cheadle, Elizabeth Olsen. They were all in it. They were all in it. And Jeremy Renner, Paul Rudd, they were all in it and featured heavily. That movie made a lot of money. This movie's not gonna, and this movie costs infinitely more. So Marvel Studios gearing up for the release of Captain America Brave New World, but early revelations about its runtime and budget are raising eyebrows across the industry. Just 118 minutes long. Now that's counting credits, guys. So you got to figure this movie is probably about 100 minutes long. This film will be the shortest Captain America movie to date, yet its budget has reportedly ballooned to a staggering $350 million, which means that it could cost a jaw-dropping $2.9 million per minute of runtime. The $350 million figure is a low-end projection, though, with some outlets believing the latest MCU project could even get up to production costs of $375 million. The high-end figure there would put the per-minute cost of this film up to $3.1 million. My goodness, guys. That's insane. Every minute of screen time is going to be $3.1 million. For context, let's take a look at how Brave New World stacks up against its predecessors in both length and cost. Captain America First Avenger came out in 2011. It was 124 minutes long, so just a little over 2 hours. With credits probably about 104 minutes or so. Had a $140 million budget. Maybe credits like 10 minutes, so probably like 114. So just about 2 hours. $140 million budget, and it was $1.1 million per minute. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, 2014, 136 minutes long. So a little over 2 hours in runtime, without the credits. With a $170 million budget, and that was $1.2 million per minute. Now, Captain America: Civil War in 2016, 148 minutes long, with a $250 million budget. Now, remember, they were bringing in every Avenger known to man. You had Sebastian Stan, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, all those huge characters. You brought in Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther for the first time, Tom Holland as Spider-Man for the first time. The cast alone was huge, and they had huge action sequences. And it was awesome, and it cost $250 million for $1.6 million a minute. This movie costs $2.9 to $3.1 million a minute, and it's 118 minutes long. My goodness. My goodness, is that awful? So this is wild to note the film actually surpasses Civil War at nearly nearly 2.5 hour blockbuster. Featuring an ensemble Avengers cast, including Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, and them. Brave New World has been plagued by reports of numerous rewrites and reshoots, contributing to its inflated budget. With reshoots and marketing, it's expected the total cost of this film could approach $500 million, $500 million. That means the film will need to make somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 billion to make a profit once you factor in theater cuts.
Make money.
But that's not all, guys, because let's take a look at some of the box office projections. So now there are some outlets out there like, Screen Rant and Variety and Deadline and them. They're trying to paint this as like optimistic. Oh, Captain America Brave New World. It's looking like it's going to do similar to the Winter Soldier. No, that's a very bad thing for Marvel. And we're going to talk about why right now. Projections from Sean Robbins at Box Office Theory estimate the film will earn between 81 million and 107 million in its first weekend. A likely figure there of $96 million. While certain media outlets paint that as a win, a closer comparison to past Marvel successes reveals a very different story, and one that suggests the MCU is in significant decline. Now, some media outlets have rushed to frame these numbers as positive, highlighting the $96 million figure as a solid opening for a February release. And on paper, the projection might seem decent, but when you consider that this film is opening on a 5-day weekend that features both Valentine's Day and President's Day, and then you hold it against the backdrop of MCU's former glory, all of the cracks in Disney's once dominant franchise suddenly become glaringly apparent. For example, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania opened to 106.1 million in 2023, and then went on to bomb. It quickly lost its luster when the film experienced a historic second weekend drop and ultimately bombed with $214 million in the domestic box office. Also, when comparing Captain America to Ant-Man, they're not in the same league. Captain America is one of Marvel's premier heroes, while Ant-Man is a secondary character at best. Marvel launched into its post-Endgame phases believing in a mantle strategy where they can move a new, more diverse team of heroes into the roles of established heroes with no box office disruption, and it didn't turn out that way.
Well, how about that?
We also saw this with Sam Wilson inheriting the mantle of Cap, Kate Bishop taking over as Hawkeye, Riri Williams becoming Ironheart, etc. But audience reception has been clear. The mantle strategy doesn't work. Now, Robbins also predicted that the film will top out domestically somewhere between 195 million and 280 million for its whole run, which is going to fall way short of the mark set by its predecessors. And when compared to previous Captain America films starring Chris Evans, you have Captain America Civil War, which featured Chris Evans, open to a massive 179.1 million, eventually raking in 408 million domestically. In contrast, the projected 96 million for Brave New World would represent a staggering 46% drop in the opening weekend revenue and an estimated 41% reduction in total domestic gross, even before adjusting for inflation. Now, looking back at Captain America: The Winter Soldier, that opened with 95 million, a comparable amount, earned about 259.7 million domestically. So now, adjusted for inflation, though, these figures climb to 126.6 million for the opening and 356 million for the total domestic haul. And these numbers dwarf Brave New World's projections. So that means far fewer people are going to be seeing it. So Winter Soldier was released, 11 years ago when movie ticket price was around $8.14. 11 years later, the average ticket price is $10.78. That means that even if Brave New World matches the Winter Soldier's 259.7 million, far few people will have seen the film, underscoring a significant decline in audience interest. That's important to remember. Additionally, the financial stakes for Brave New World are far higher, with Winter Soldier having a reported budget of 170 million, and Civil War had a budget of 250 million. So, as we said, Captain America Brave New World, 350 million at the lowest. Absolutely insane. Tickets also went up for pre-sale the other day, and those pre-sale numbers show that it could be an Eternals or even the Marvels level box office flop. And these latest box office updates for Brave New World spell an all too familiar trouble for Marvel Studios, as pre-sale tickets are tracking just 1.4 times better than the Marvels and on par with the Eternals. While this might sound like a slight improvement on paper, it's a significant red flag for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Released in 2021, The Eternals was Marvel's first major financial failure,
Gay!
grossing just 164.9 million domestically and 237.2 million internationally for a worldwide total of 402 million. And the Eternals, though, had a production budget of $236 million, way under Captain America. Brave New World faces the steeper climb. So if it performs at the same level as the Eternals, it's actually even a bigger flop than the Eternals because it costs more money to make. And that's the distinction that I don't think that like shill outlets are stupid enough to not see it. I think that they think you're stupid enough to not see it. So keep that in mind, guys. Now, after factoring in the marketing costs, you're looking at $1 billion movie that's needed for profitability, and we're not going to get that. Now, could it be on the level of the Marvels? The financial collapse of the Marvels is a dire warning for Captain America Brave New World. The Marvels, because of all the reshoots, Disney says it was $274.8 million budget. Forbes estimates, thanks to Caroline Reed, that it's up to $374 million, which is comparable to the higher end of Brave New World's rumored budget. But despite the investment, the Marvels just grossed $206 million worldwide. It didn't even break $100 million domestically. 82 million domestically, 124 million internationally. Now, I don't think it's possible that Brave New World can do that bad. I mean, interest in the Marvels was non-existent. This still has the Captain America name. It features a Hulk in the trailers. I don't think it'll be that bad. However, you never know. Of course, Disney is up to its old tricks again. The Chinese poster for Captain America Brave New World is partially obscuring Anthony Mackie's face, which, Disney has a history of doing this. Let's take a look. There it is. Well, let's get a larger view. And there you see it, guys. Anthony Mackie's face far in the background, draped in shadow, almost like they don't want you to see that it's a black guy in China, which is exactly it. Disney has a history of doing this. We have seen Disney do this with trailers. This was the first Chinese trailer right here, where they kind of shoved him off to the side. This is a take on the American trailer where they were trying to, recreate a very classic Captain America, comic book cover, but that was Steve Rogers as well. Now, also remember in China, here's Disney's history of this. Look at Finn. Finn right there on the American poster on the right-hand side here. And there's Finn all the way down here under BB-8 in the Chinese poster. They reduced him in size and moved him around and made BB-8 larger, all because they didn't want to show a black guy on a Chinese trailer. A Chinese poster, I mean. And let's take a look at Black Panther. We had Chadwick Boseman's face in the American trailer, and then over in China, they slapped a helmet on his head. So here's the thing. Yes, China is pretty terrible with this kind of stuff, but Disney has constantly marketed itself as a leader in DEI-driven storytelling. However, these values are abandoned when they threaten the company's bottom line abroad.
你好，中国，这是叫西呢，我爱更尊重中国更中国人。
all because, guys, their values are not real. They are not real. They are no more real than Anthony Mackie is actually Captain America. It's all a ploy to get your money because they thought for so long that this was the way to get American money. Virtue signaling was the way to get American money because they read the room entirely wrong.
Fools! Idiots! Imbeciles!
And now they're paying for it heftily. Speaking of things they're going to pay for, guys, there are rumors that we have been getting some pretty deceptive marketing for this movie. And let's take a look at this story from today on That Park Place. Rumor: the Red Hulk is only featured for 5 minutes of Captain America Brave New World. Oh, no. Oh, so We Love Physical Media said the Red Hulk has less than 5 minutes of screen time. Now, normally this is not a rumor that I would run with. I have a potential Marvel source that I've been kind of testing out, and they said the exact same thing to me. But it was enough for me to be like, well, okay, this is a rumor. And then I started putting 2 and 2 together. I realized something, guys. In all of these screenshots, we have only seen the Hulk, the Red Hulk, in one scene. This scene in the cherry blossoms, and then the fire. We see him in the fire also. But I think that that's pretty much the same scene. Yeah, because you see, like, it's very clearly so, like, there's a military helicopter back there and everything, and this might not even be in the movie. It might have just been for the trailer because Marvel is known to do that. If this is true, so my source told me he does not become the Red Hulk until the third act. It's a 5-minute fight scene at the end of the movie. He only transforms the one time. The leader, I asked how the leader looked because my source claimed to have seen a cut of the film, and I asked how the leader looked, and they said that the leader does not look like the comic book at all. It just kind of looks like The Hills Have Eyes. He's just kind of like a jaundiced guy with a big head, like a long head. But the leader is, activating assassins through little like flashing lights on a phone, and it all ends with Harrison Ford in jail. If this is true, if this Red Hulk is not actually in this movie, if he is in all of the promotional material, all of it, guys. And if he is only in this movie for under 5 minutes of screen time, that is going to be a horrific blow to Marvel's credibility.
I don't care.
So look at everything this movie's got going against it. $3 million a minute, a budget that is out of control, reshoots galore, pre-sales are in the toilet, box office projections are charging for a film that cost a fraction of the budget 11 years ago. And now the main driving force behind the marketing, this Red Hulk, might not even be in the movie all that much. Guys, this is going to be a disaster. If all this is true, then I'm going to start trusting that Marvel source more and bringing you guys more insider scoops from them. But we'll see. So what do you guys think? What do you think this movie's going to do? How do you think the movie got to this level? Sound off in the comments and let me know. This movie is going to be a disaster for Marvel. It's going to tank on an epic level and do a ton of harm to the Marvel brand in the process. All the hope that was inspired by Deadpool and Wolverine could be utterly upended in one fell swoop next month with the release of this movie. Not only will fan anger come back, it'll be worse than it was before. Because you showed them hope with Deadpool and Wolverine. Hope that Marvel was done with the posturing identity politics-filled, overly CGI'd, multiversal horse slop they've been serving us up since Endgame. And now they're gonna take it all away.
No hope. No hope.
It's a shame, really, because I stand by what I said before. A Falcon movie in a pre-Endgame world would have been amazing. Everyone loved Sam's story. Everyone was invested in him as a character. We loved him from the word go. Winter Soldier was an awesome movie, and he was an integral part of that. But then Marvel made the cardinal sin it always makes when trying to elevate diverse characters. They elevated him at the expense of a character people already loved.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
By nerfing Steve Rogers, overlooking Bucky, and then handing off the shield like it's some magical mantle, Marvel disrespected Steve Rogers, Bucky, the Falcon, and the fans all in one swoop. And then came the multi-episode civics lesson called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a series that was supposed to be a fun buddy cop adventure that turned into a mind-numbing narrative where an Avenger can't get a loan, we turned the symbol of Captain America into a race politics issue, we realized then that the show is trying to get us to side with murdering terrorists and believe that open borders are suddenly a swell idea, and then we're supposed to hate a decorated American war hero who's done nothing wrong except accept a job that he was offered.
Money, please.
From that moment on, audiences were done with Sam Wilson as Captain America. At this point, you can't even make him the Falcon again, and you can't take the mantle of Cap away from him either. It's a situation where Marvel has utterly destroyed one of its tentpole franchises and two of its most popular heroes, all because Kevin Feige and Victoria Alonso thought that it was the mantle that people loved and not the character. Oh, and mark my words, if the Red Hulk is in this movie for just under 5 minutes of screen time after being all over just about every poster, trailer, and TV spot, the fans will never trust Marvel again. It's not a question of whether Captain America Brave New World will succeed or fail, because I think that ship has already sailed. What's always carried Marvel over its many phases has been fan excitement at seeing the next thing.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
So while this movie is going to fail, I think it's now a matter of whether Marvel can make it out of this with any fan excitement left for its next theatrical offering, which is, let me see, the Thunderbolts? Well, it was fun while it lasted. Thanks for joining us today, and a special thanks goes out to our Tooneytown TV channel members. You guys are the heart and soul of this channel, and for that we thank you with exclusive content like Crime and Punishment, our true crime podcast hosted by myself and Trish, and our members-only live stream on Mondays at 3 p.m. EST. So if you are not a member of the Tooneytown TV channel, join today. Oh, and make sure you're joining us Thursday nights live at 8 p.m. EST for Tooney Talk TV, a live stream pop culture podcast where you can interact with me directly and make your voices heard as a part of the Tooneytown community. If you liked what you saw here today, please like, share, and subscribe. Click that bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooneytown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!